What's up, guys? It's Bean here with Bean of Games. We are here with a tier list post Suda. I know it's been a while, guys, since I made a video, but we're back. We're better than ever. You know, college life will do that to you, and you know, let's really hammer down. I know we got some events coming up. We got YCS Orlando. Your boy is gonna be there. What can I say? Hopefully, I win this. But we'll get into it. We have 4 categories today. We have the Goo, Solid, Can Win, and my most favorite one, Womp Womp. So let's just, we'll just get right into this here. First off, we have Centurion. Solid deck overall. I'm going to put this in, you can win with this. I feel like there's just better options out there. And you have a lot of Bestials running around still. But even then, if you go first, you cheat out with Crimson Dragon. I mean, you have like 20 non-engine spots last I checked. So still good. I mean, you still have, you're always, you thrust into a D barrier. So that always going to hurt. But I mean, still a solid option. I mean, win the die roll. Be better. Be better. Next one, we have Branded. Yeah, this is straight up going to Womp Womp. I mean, Branded Fusion to 1. 3 Ash, 1 to 3 ratio. I'm not too good at math. I barely passed Trig last semester, but you're not having a good time, that's for sure. Chimera, oh, man, this can win games. I'd say you just got to be annoying. I don't think you can run that many hand traps, but going first, I mean, being able to pluck a card economy is really good. But overall, it's just, I feel like this kind of got power crept out. Might be Womp Womp. Nah, it can win. It can win. It can win. I'll stick with that. Christians. I think this is solid. So this is a solid choice. So hear me out, right? So it's solid as if it combos, it gets to go off. Not many people know what this deck does, really. The problem is if this deck gets shifted a little bit, it doesn't get to play. And at the same time, Lancia is like the #1 sidecar right now because of Malice, and that indirectly hits this deck, unfortunately. And there's a nib spot when they hit the 2 level 5s. I mean, you know how to play against this deck, you're gonna have a good time. If you know how to side into it, I mean, but it still has that surprise factor. I know Orlando's coming up, so definitely, read your cards. I know we're all Yu-Gi-Oh players, right? We don't read our cards. So, I'm also the same on that one, but I'll digress on that. I'll digress on Krishna, but solid choice, I mean, for now, but we'll see. Fiendsmith, just pure Fiendsmith. I think this is the Goo. They just got new support. 29 engine, I believe, also you can run. I mean, it's just, it can OTK. I think this is, it's the Goo. Like, it's in a solid spot right now. And I mean, Engraver, you can go into Caesar if you're going first. Like, a lot of flexibility, a lot of good side patterns. You can run Purge. Oh, tell me how good of a card Purge is. It's like Ash Blossom, like, but better, trap version. But I think overall, I think Joshua Schmidt did a really good job bringing this deck to, the light. And since then, a lot of people have been on it. I mean, do I think it's best deck in the room? No, but I think it's definitely contender if you're playing any big events coming up. So, definitely keep an eye out for that. But to counteract that a little bit, Bestials are still running around, and I see builds playing like minimum of 6 sometimes, 6, 7, sometimes 8. Just to stop, Engraver. We're in a very fire and light format right now, which, 8 years ago, I'd never see that. But I also played during Mermail and Fire Fist format, so there's that. Dinomorphia. I think this can win. So I think I put it above Chimera, yeah. So I think the problem with this is, it's cheap. So, it's a cheap budget option. That's always awesome. I love my cheap budget decks here or there. But the main thing this deck has going for it is nobody's citing back row hate. No Cosmics, no Lightning Storms, no Feather Dusters, no Evenlies, because, Desiree is just a splashable card in like every Fiendsmith variant, and just negate cards. So there's just not enough hate for this deck, so it can win. It will catch you on guard, and there's a lot of counter traps in this deck, so like you won't even be able to chain a lot of stuff. So, just being able to win that die roll, steal the game 1, you could even lose game 2, but game 3 you're going to be in for a ride. So solid. It can win. It can win. I'll give it to it. Ooh, Tempai. Gosh. I'm going to put this at solid. So I played Columbus last weekend, I believe, and I played like the going second deck version, just like, hey, just a whole bunch of breakers, some charmies and stuff. I didn't do too well. I was just there to have fun. You just one of those regionals where you have fun and then do your thing. But let me tell you, if this deck goes off, if you can get your summoning or a Kaiman and you bait some stuff off, whether you're playing the Fiendsmith variant or whatever you're doing, let me tell you, Trident's not dead, baby. He's popping that field spell all day. All right. And then you're just going to be very upset because you thought this deck died. But another thing this has going for it, post Suda, another Charmy card. And that Charmy card is very good because it's hitting a lot of the meta. You're at least drawing a minimum of 1. You're upstarting with it. I mean, you have the Fiendsmith stuff that's summoning from grave. You have the Malice stuff. If you resolve that Charmy against Malice, cook 'em and book 'em, baby. It's over. Memento, definitely solid forerunner here. I mean, you got some pops. I mean, just a lot of graveyard recursion. The problem is with this deck still is you can stop horse. I mean, you just stop the horse with Imperm Veiler, Ash. If you stop that, it's like, it really hurts the deck. They just need something more to really push it. But don't get me wrong, this deck's very slept on. It can still win games. I think it's still a solid option. I just think that these 3 are better right now. So that's all I'm really going to speak on this deck. But overall, I had no problem with this deck being the meta. Mitsurugi. Oh, gosh. I'm going to take a bold take here. All right, because I'm very biased and I really love this deck right now. I'm going to go with the goo. Do I think it's front? No, probably towards the back. We'll get there once we get through all the rest of the list. With that being said, it's recursion. I mean, if you resolve these cards, like the one ritual is literally once per chain. Okay, that's like the most busted like wording you could ever give a card, is once per chain recursion. You're bringing this dude back. You can play around Bestials a little bit with it. The problem is you got to play the Ryziel version, which that's not the problem, I guess, per se. But the problem is consistency. All right. So if you start off with like a normal summon sword and you have the ritual spell and, that's it, it can brick, is what I'm saying. It's like, it can brick. Do I think this is the best Ryziel version going into it? No, I don't. I still think Fiendsmith is better in a sense when it comes to more consistency, but this one, if it goes off, if you've been playing testing this deck for a little bit, I think you're going to make a top cut at a YCS. But don't be surprised if you draw like all Ryziel cards and one ritual spell and they stop your plays and you're just like, wow, I really wish this was a Bestial to clap back at my opponent. So, really in love with this deck, but, ooh, Malice. I love this deck when it first came out. Shoot. I'm going to put it... Yeah, we're going to put it at the goo. So, let's start off with this deck can just play. It mains some Bestials. It can main Shifter going into the event, which are more graveyard reliance decks like Mitsurugi here. But it's also being very heavily targeted right now. You have that new Mulch Army card. You have Lancia. Bell. It's definitely going to be a targeted deck. Don't count this deck out though. Like, if it goes off, you just win. I mean, just that M board is like insane post Suda. I believe they get a new Link 4, I believe, and that puts it over the edge a little bit. It's just this. You just can't ever count this deck out. It just plays through hand traps, but it can also lose easily. Like I said, a Lancia, or are you going to let your opponent draw around 2 minimum, give or take, off the new Mulch Army? So, but put them on having it. If they don't have those cards, or if you counterside with like crossouts and like call by, I think you're going to have a good day. And then just siding into the shifters, this will win your easy round 1s, 2s, 3s, just because you might be playing Rogue in the first couple rounds. So I think this deck's really, really good. Oh, Nouvelle Hungry Burger. We are going to cook all the way down to the Womp Womp category. Gosh, I've been sitting on CR Hungry Burgers for almost a year or so now, and I'm like, man, they just sit in my binder. They don't do anything. They just collect dust, and I cry eternally, and I dream about cooking with Hungry Burger. But one of these days, Konami's gonna sit there and cook something up with me, that's for sure. But to the Womp Womp category you go for now. Voiceless Voice. Oh, gosh. It can win. It can win. This is one of these decks. First of all, my team that I'm part of, we have a terrible win record against this deck. Like, it has knocked us out of top 8s. It has knocked us out of case tournaments. This deck is just like the bane of our existence, and I'm sitting there like, I wish they had banned low, but it's never going to happen because the deck is actually very balanced and very fair. And it's very 2-card combo oriented, and the thing this deck has is there's Omni-Negate. It forces your opponent to do certain things, and it baits your opponent. It really does bait your opponent. And I like the Power Spell variant a little bit better than Hand Trap, but Hand Trap's better in my honest opinion. So, but this can win. This can win going to Suda. Not much to say about that, but be careful of your Bestials. I would always play around Bestials if you're playing this deck. My girl Martha. Here we go, baby. To the Womp Womp category. Once again, 2 of my favorite rogue decks. Just womp womping it up. Nibs running around. You have your Ash. People are siding Ultimate Slayer. So you're just going to get hit on that. Talents, Thrust. I mean, in tier format, I love this deck. I thought this was great. I did really well with this deck, but it was also a graveyard reliant format. No, this is dead. Fire King. Yeah, this can win. All connects, I believe is how you say it. It's a card. It can still go off. You can splash some cash tier cards in here. I mean, this deck's still running around here or there, but not what it used to be. And I'm just going to bring it over here now. Like, same thing with Snake Eyes. It's like, it's not what it used to be. I mean, it definitely got crippled by the last ban list, and post Suda, I don't see it really taking off that much. So, I mean, this can steal some wins, but like, I think you're going to get hand trapped to death, and we'll see from there. Ooh, Big Daddy M-Pen. Oh man, I'd have to put him in the. I'm gonna put him at the very front of Womp Womp. So we'll put it this way: if you queue into Malice all day, you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna have a really good time. Yeah, you don't have your shifter because it's banishing, but watching them try and struggle into like a link climb scenario is just like the best thing ever. I mean, this happened to me. I played a New York regional, and I played Malice. And round 2, I got queued in this. I got 2-0'd just because like M-Pen was a card. There's nothing I could do, and it was just a very rough time for me. But against everything else, yeah, you're gonna get Fiendsmithed away. Like, you're gonna get hand trapped. I mean, Pirellia still might be running around. We'll see. We'll see side patterns going into then. I think the new Mulch Army is going to take precedence over it. But but I wouldn't count Pirelli out because, you know, it's just into Rizio, it puts pressure. And that's what this game really is. It's like, how much pressure can I put on you until, like, there's going to be a declared winner, you know? But, nevermore, to the Womp Womp category with you. Goblin Bikers, baby. It's a solid. I put it up here. Same thing, same scenario, but you got to queue into Rizio. So if you queue into Rizio with this, like, you're going to have a good time, you know, play a couple board breakers. Same thing, though. It's kind of like actually the reverse. It's like, shoot, like, if I go against Malice, like, that really sucks now. I'm just going to get out-resourced and banished, and it's just not going to be a good time. So that it can win. It can win. Primite, I'm going to take a bold assumption here. I think this is solid. I think it's, you know, post that Blue Eye structure deck, it definitely goes into the goo. But that being said, for now, I think it's solid. I think you could, dude, there was a Harpy Lady list running around with the Primate cards, and you were just featherstorming people, and that was like, whoever that dude was, he was cooking. Oh, just featherstorming from hand. There'd be a pit in the bottom of my stomach where I'm like, I should just rip the match slip up right now. But I can't do that because that'd be a major penalty, and I don't want to get one of those. But I think it's a really solid Lorely Load. Yeah, it's a good card. I mean, this is really going to jump up to the goo here soon, but for now, going into Orlando and stuff, it's solid. It's solid. Kashtira, can run shifter, can still win, can still put up some dumb stuff, but still in the back of the pack, especially against Rizio. Everything activates on res, and boy. Lab, same thing. I put it right about. Yeah, this would just be a die roll thing between these two. It can win, but I think you got to run some hand traps, and I mean, you got to make sure they're impactful hand trap, like your Mulch Armies, your you know, your nibs, you're just your stuff to, like, stop your opponent. You can run your Bestials. Problem is if you run the furniture variant, which is usually the hand trap variant, unfortunately, you're gonna get cooked, because the Bestials are just gonna stop your recursion. But if you go off, you're just gonna loop your opponent on D barriers or karma cannons, and the deck's definitely annoying. And Lady is such a good card. Burley, a fan favorite of mine. Back when I was on top of the game, on top of the world, but now into the Womp Womp category. Yeah, you can put up towers. Rizio has a really hard time dealing with that. But, you know, a lot of hand traps. You know, shifter. Playing going second with this deck is really hard. Everything's like a sense of 2-card combo because you got to discard. So to the Womp Womp and Impulse. Impulse destroys this deck. If you go leap and they impulse you, it's like I just sit on like a little baby cat and then prey on whatever's in my hand. But it is what it is. Plants. Rika plants. This deck always finds its way into the meta, especially Europe. If you live in Europe, this is your go-to deck. I don't care who you are or what it is. You just sit there and you con people and you tribute stuff and you just boop 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 boop. I won the YCS. But all shout out to plant players. I love playing plants too, so I understand what it's like. Problem is, Troll might see a little bit more play because Mitsuruki's somewhat around, so that could hurt the deck. Shifter. This can play around Shifter a little bit, but like I said, it can win. I just wouldn't queue it up right now. But if there's ever a meta that this becomes like tier 1.5, yeah, you bet your sweet behind that Bean of Games here is gonna be growing something. Rescue Ace, I throw this in the Womp. It can win. You go first at 4, but leaning towards the Womp Womp. But we'll leave it here. Airlifter came back, but OSS got banned, so post Suda, it's not gonna look good going into it. Runic Stun, or Runic in general, can win. Just win your die roll, be better. You know, same old good cooking stuff. Ryziel, yeah, this is just best deck, whether it's Mitsurugi Ryziel, Fiendsmith Ryziel. I think just this detonator, and then Konami Twins of Eclipse, amazing card, love it. But at the same time, it's like gameplay, talents take. If I try and link it off, like, you're just gonna get something back, because chances are you have another one. But at the same time, Bishul's are running around, so if Twins goes to target 1 or 2 cards and then you Bishul the 1, then it sucks. Especially since Detonator's a light, so you can just Bishul that. And, you know, but at the same time, I mean, Ryziel just plays and plays and plays, and I love it. I love the deck, but it's rough. Vanquish Soul, womp womp. Put it right here. I don't even know why I put this in here, to be honest. I was just, I've always been a Vanquish Soul person, but just, you're just going to get out-resourced against a Ryziel, or, you know, just maybe one more support card, maybe, hopefully. Yubel. Oh, this can win games. Yeah, put it right there. You go first, you go off, it's still a solid deck. It's still going to put up some negates. It's still going to put up like a rage. It's going to put up either a pop. It's going to do some stuff. The problem is playing into Ryziel, going second, they're just going to pop all your stuff, which in theory sounds amazing. Like, oh yeah, pop my Yubel monster. Boom, keep bringing them out, burn. Until you have to go like Samsara, Tribute, go into Spirit adds Nightmare, and as soon as you activate that Nightmare, Detonator pop, and then it's like, there goes your OTK line. And it's very hard. So maybe sign to more board breakers. Maybe like you could catch someone off guard with a Super Poly. That would be awesome, but is that really ideal? I don't think so, but we'll see. And then, Azamina or White Forest. Here we go. We're going to cook with some... I think this is solid. I think it's definitely the back of the pack of all these for now. Duelist Alliance? Yeah, Duelist Alliance drops. I think that's an amazing set. I think Konami did great there. I think this is going to start to see a lot more play and move up. There's also a Fiendsmith variant of this, which is really good. But right now, it's just still missing that, like, you know, you're getting rid of cards, summon cards. If that gets stopped, if you didn't send something like their normal spell to reset, or any of their spell or traps that reset, it's like, you know, you lost advantage just to try and push yourself forward. So, but, you know, I've seen some promising cards in Duelist Alliance so far that look amazing. And, you know, I'm really excited to see what Konami's cooking there. And, you know, hopefully we come out of the kitchen alive. But as for now, I mean, this will definitely steal some wins. And it's a solid option moving forward. But, you know, but thank you guys so much for tuning in to Bean of Games, cooking in this kitchen, going through the goo, solid, can win, and womp womp. If you guys see me at Orlando, feel free to come say hi. I'll be playtesting till then, and then I'll drop a couple more videos, you know, maybe spill some spices here or there, and, you know. But until next time, thank you guys so much. And don't forget to subscribe. At 500, we're still giving away that Spellground. So who doesn't like a free Spellground? Especially the Year of the Rabbit. Those are like my go-tos. But thank you once again, everyone. I'll talk to you later.